In the ancient kingdom of Stygia, old Nephthys stood the ages. Intrigue, plots and cunning filled the hallowed serpentine streets. Every stone, every building block a mystery. Secrets whispered through the night. The story of Prince Kraxus was a myth and a cautionary tale. Born into privilege, he bore the weight of his lineage, the blood of royals, sorcerers, and Sethites flowing through his veins. Yet, fate destined to have other plans for him. Kraxus grew up within the opulent walls of the Nephthys palace, surrounded by tutors, courtiers, and the echoes of forgotten prophecies. His father, a shrewd nobleman and one uncle to King Siptah, recognized the spark of ambition in young Kraxus. The prince possessed a striking intelligence, but it was tempered by an uncanny dim-wittedness. He was not wise like Father Set, some would say. He could unravel complex spells with ease, yet stumble over basic etiquette. His eyes held a hunger for power, and his mind danced with forbidden knowledge. A peculiar and singular knowledge of the outer dark. It was this very contradiction that fascinated and unnerved those who crossed his path. As Kraxus matured, his brooding demeanor intensified. He wandered the palace gardens, lost in thought, his gaze fixed on distant horizons. The court gossiped about his odd behavior, the way he conversed with shadows, seeking counsel from the imaginary. Whispers of dark magic clung to him like a second skin. One fateful eve, Kraxus stood at the precipice of his destiny. His father, desperate to secure Nephthys' dominance, commanded him to help colonize the mysterious island of Siptah. There, in the fledgling shadow of New Luxor, he would compete against his rival, Amentet, securing new holdings on the accursed isle. The stakes were high, the throne itself seemed to hang in the balance. Driven by a reckless ambition that bordered on madness, Kraxus embarked on his ill-fated journey. He sought forbidden knowledge, delving into ancient grimoires hidden within the palace library. His obsession led him to an ancient ruin, a crumbling obelisk, of a starless midnight obsidian, where he performed a forbidden ritual. The hooded dark entity that appeared before him, or in his mind's eye, confused him, he could not tell. The dark-robed entity offered him power beyond imagination, but at a dire cost. The power the entity promised bestowed a curse upon Amentet and his men. The curse of servitude after death. Kraxus betrayed his countrymen on one misty morning on the Isle of Siptah. After Amentet and his men were all murdered, their bodies twisted, flesh withering, until they became hollow, skeletal husks. Kraxus reveled in his newfound might, leading his cursed army to decimate New Luxor. The newly founded city now lay in ruins, its streets haunted by the groaning cries of the undead. But as the entity promised, a price must be paid. The island of Siptah, with its supernatural maelstroms, turned against Kraxus. The winds howled like tormented souls, and the waves whispered secrets of betrayal. The voices of the dead invaded his mind, driving him to the brink of madness. He retreated to a desolate watchtower, the castaways called it Bastard's Stand, where he brooded, haunted by remorse, paranoid and delusional over his oath to the outer gods, demons and worse. In the tower's shadowed chamber, Kraxus confronted the darkness that had ensnared him. He cursed the hooded figure who had granted him power, realizing too late that ambition had blinded him. Desperation drove him to pray, not to Father Set of Nephthys, but to something older, hungrier. The sky above the island ripped open, the very strings of the fabric of reality waving in the cosmic wind like tentacles. The void answered his prayers but shattered his psyche. And so, in his last moments of sanity, Prince Kraxus understood the true cost of his ambition. The island of Siptah claimed him, body and soul, leaving behind only a hollow shell of a man, a cautionary tale of history. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. His legacy echoed through the ages. Beware the hunger for power, for it can consume even the mightiest of men. His last thought, a slow-motion whisper stretching out into an infinite darkness.